Hey guys, how y'all doing? I wanted to share a little bit of my porch with you guys so that you can see and feel what I'm feeling this morning. I come to you as is. You know, I'm not one for put on makeup or dressing up to give a false image or a beautification to my message. When I feel a need to share, I share in that moment, no matter how I look. Because I don't like bras, so it is what it is. You're going to see me a lot on here, probably with no bra on. So embrace my boobs and embrace my scarf because it's early in the morning. This is as raw as it's going to get. I don't think I even brushed my teeth this morning. But with that being said, as I give to you, I give to myself. So, what am I giving this morning? What am I sharing this morning? What am I intaking and partaking this morning? Love. It's this big wave of energy that's going around the universe about love and how everything has to be love and everything has to be given with love. And then at the end of the day, if it's not love, then it's not right. And I'm not saying I disagree with that. I actually agree with that. But reality is that love comes in different shades and colors. Love comes in different frequencies and waves. And so what love means to one means something totally different to another. And I want to talk about how we express that love. But mainly, how do we express that love to our children? Yeah. So I think that, well, let me say this before I start by thinking that. There's this thing going around about emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence is about how to tap into your emotion, recognize them, assess them, and then regulate them. Recognize them, assess them, and then regulate them. That's emotional intelligence, pretty much in a nutshell. And the reason why I'm thinking about this is because I had an associate who mentioned that in August she's going to teach a workshop. She's a therapist, and she's going to do a workshop for parents on how to raise emotional intelligent children. And I was like, oh, that's great, that's wonderful. But for the past week, I've been thinking how to raise emotional intelligent children. Well, first, before we focus on raising emotional intelligent children, we got to focus on the parents. And I don't know what her workshop's going to be about, how she's going to run it, what she's going to implement, or what she's going to speak about, or what she's going to teach. She could be teaching the parents how to manage, recognize, or deal with their emotional intelligence. I don't know. But what I do know is that emotional intelligence is really about how do you express your love? How do you express your love for yourself? How do you express your love to your friends? How do you express your love to others? And how do you express your love to your children? That is what emotional intelligence is about. So how do we do that, right? How do we express our love to our children that's not harmful, damaging, in a lifetime of trauma? That's hard. Now, I'm not here to tell anyone that how they raise their children is wrong. I'm not here to tell people how to raise their children. But what I am here to say is that how we express love to our children is a reflection on how we express love to ourselves. So with that being shared, let me share a little story with you. So I have two children, a boy and a girl, beautiful children. I think they have grown up to be fabulous young adults. I'm very proud of them and everything that they do. And I'm proud of them not because of my own idea of what success is supposed to be. I'm proud of them for who they are as a person, their character, their identity, how they see themselves, and just the pure goodness of their heart. Okay? I'm proud of them for that. I think they have done a wonderful job thus far navigating this earth and still being good people. And so the story is really more about me versus them. Because the children are a reflection of you and how you express your love to yourself. And so my daughter, just a little background story. So I'm a foster child. Been in foster care from the time I was 6 until I aged out. And I'm also a teen mom, which means I had my son under the age of 18. So I was, 7? I was 16 when I got pregnant. And I raised my children in the foster care children until I aged out. So at this turning point in my life, my daughter is almost 2. I'm no longer in the system, so I'm like 23. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you my age. But the point is, I was still young. And I was teaching at a school for children with special needs. So for birth to 7, children with special needs, from autism, Down syndrome, intellectual disability, blind, deaf, whatever you name it, right? And one of the goals that we was working on for our children was how to express affection. And so my daughter attended the school because I taught there. So the school was about inclusion, right? Including those with special needs in normal classroom settings with children who do not have a special need. So my daughter was one of the first wave of children that came through. Matter of fact, she was the only one in the beginning that was there. Which was a great thing for her because this taught her compassion and empathy and love and understanding for those with special needs till this day, both of my children. But anyway, so, as a teacher, we work on goals, right? And so I'm working on goals with my students that's in my classroom on how to show expression and give affection because a lot of our children especially don't do that because a lot of times they don't receive that. Right? And so we're working on those goals. My daughter's she's under another teacher versus me. And they're working on the same goals. And I didn't think much of it. I didn't think that, my daughter, she's a lovely person and this and that. Until the head teacher came to me and she pulled me aside and she said, I noticed that your daughter is not that affectionate and we want to work with her. So we were thinking about giving her a goal. And one of those goals is to hug people and those things. I said, okay, cool, great, fine. She said, however, I want to give you one too. I said, what you mean you want to give me one? She goes, I noticed that when you walk into the room, you give your daughter excitement and joy and you're happy to see her and you're like, hey, but you don't touch her. You don't hug her. You don't show her affection. You show her excitement, but you don't touch her. Children need touch. She's like, you touch all the other children, but you don't touch her. And I said, really? She goes, yes, you don't hug her and anything like that. I said, really? And she was like, yes. I was like, never noticed that. Now, I admired this lady, so there was no tit-tat or argue. Like, yes, I did know. I really had to think about that. So I went back, and I asked all my closest friends, especially my brother. I was like, Ken, do I hug you? He started laughing. He was like, no. I was like, no, seriously. Do I hug you? Am I an affectionate person? And he was like, no. I was like, seriously? He said, every time I will come for a hug or someone come from a hug, you go like this. Or you do something and push them off. I said, really? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, interesting. So I had to go ask a couple more people. I didn't ask my family. My brother Ken is my brother, but not from my intimate family, like my mother's side, who I grew up with. And so I didn't grow up with him, right? So I was able to ask him because I didn't grow up with him. But my family I grew up with, I didn't ask them because my thought process was, I wonder if I'm not affectionate or a hugger or any of those things because my family wasn't. And even though I was in foster care, I still grew up around my family. My grandmother was there all the time until she passed away. My aunts was there. Me and my sister was in foster care together, and so my aunts was around. You know, I saw them during holidays, and as I became an adult, I became more included in the family, and you know, things like that, loving people. But they're not really affectionate people. They that tough love. They don't hug you. They don't do any of those things. And in foster care, you definitely don't get hugged. Matter of fact, I don't know if I want you to touch me, partner. So, needless to say, I tell long stories. Bear with me. I realized I didn't touch my children. I didn't hug them. So my goal given to me was every time I walked into a room where my daughter was present, I had to get down in a squatty position to her level, eye level, and a very excitement joy be like, I miss you while you was gone, and grab her up and give her the biggest and tightest hug that she ever received. Unbeknownst to me, that was doing something for me, right? That goal was set for me to do for her, but the goal was really set for me because doing that made me comfortable with people touching and hugging me. Now, I'm going to say this. To this day, I will hug you. I may still give you a little side hug, you know, things like that. But I am way better at hugging and accepting affection or touch from other people than I was at 23. And I'm grateful that I had someone who cared enough about my daughter and cared enough about me to say, hey, this is something I think you should work on for her because it will benefit her and is something that she needs. I touch my children. You know, I hug my children. You know, to this day, I hug them, I touch them. Now, again, I'm not one to just go hug you to be hugging you, but I'm still affectionate with my children, especially if I know they're going through something. And so I share that story to say that a lot of times we can love deep, like love to the bare fibers and roots of our veins and in past our souls. Love so deep that is written in the Akashic records that the love was so profound that it created whole new universes. That's how deep we can love. However, we may not know how to express that love due to whatever trauma we have experienced as children or due to it not being taught to us. And so we need to consciously do emotional intelligence as adults. We need to look at ourselves and how we express our emotion. We need to tap into our emotions. We need to assess our emotions, and then we need to respond accordingly. Not regulate, because I think regulate is such a word that restricts you from being, right? But we need to be able to express our love, not necessary for us, but for our children. That in return will help us, but we need to do it for our children. And so I encourage you today that when you see your child, no matter what age they are, whether they're grown, whether they're a baby, that you get on eye level with them, look them in the face and say, I miss you, I love you, and grab them in your arms and you hug them. And you hug them to show them that you love them. That is the first step of expressing love to yourself, and to your children. The first step, because your children are you. They're you. They are essence of you. So as you give to them, you give to yourself. Don't be like me. Don't be like me when I was 22, 21, 18, 19. Not understanding what expressing love is, even when we don't need it. Correction, even when we think we don't need it, because we always need a form of love of expression. Saying I love you is great, but people need to feel it. Showing I love you is better than saying. Providing is great, but our children need to feel it. They need to feel it on their skins, on their pores, in their souls. So I encourage you today to show love by hugging. Hug your children. Hug them so deep that they go within you again. Hug your children. I miss you, even if you saw them yesterday. Even if you saw them an hour. I miss you. I love you. I'm so glad you chose me to be a part of your journey, to help guide you. Because you're saying the same to yourself. Yeah. As I give to you, I give to myself. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. You are worthy. You are loved. You are greatness.